Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moments with Me with your host, Dylan Heinrich. And this is the very first episode of this show. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a minute. In fact, I actually tried doing a comedy podcast, but I didn't really feel it. I was trying to do things with the comedic elements and stuff, but I think, to be honest, without that live reaction of the audience, it's hard for me to tell if jokes are actually good or not. I can only go off of my sense of humor, which is also a pretty childish sense of humor. So I really wanted to kind of make a show that felt more true to me, whether I talk about sports, whether I talk about filming, acting, music making, even podcasting, or traveling the world. I want to have a podcast where I feel the freedom to just talk about whatever I want to talk about. I just want to have a podcast to, share my personal experiences with you guys. And like, if anything's going on, I can talk about that. But yeah, so I suppose let's get straight into it. What's really funny is that with podcasting, I used to think that podcasts were a little weird. Like, I used to think that just listening to people talk was the weirdest thing ever. I don't know why I thought this. I assumed everybody that was wearing headphones was listening to music. I didn't think that some people would be listening to people talk. But now that I have listened to podcasts, it makes a lot of sense. It does. And some of them can be relaxing, some of them can offer advice, some of them can, like help you like, hey, if you're going through something, you're not alone, or like these are the actions that you can take for said thing. And I'll probably do that on this show too. I think I'm gonna have moments where I offer up advice, whether it is for acting or filmmaking or music making or even podcasting. I'd love to give that to other people, other aspiring artists that are, working their way up in the future. So I started listening to podcasts actually earlier this year. It was I want to say it was probably like July, maybe? It was like July or August or something like that. But I started listening to podcasts, and I don't know, I found it really fascinating that that I got into podcasts as much as I have. And I think the reason for that is, as crazy as this is going to sound, I think that I started to kind of grow a bit of a music fatigue. And I know that sounds really weird and really crazy, but I think the reason why that happened was because I was listening to it so much. I was reliant on music so much to kind of use it as an escape, and to get away from certain things or to tune stuff out. But I think that podcasts have really helped me with learning things and also kind of understanding like people and conversations a little bit more. And I've also gotten to learn a lot more by listening to said podcasts. And I know a lot of people are probably going to ask me why I wanted to do a podcast or what was the inspiration to start a podcast. But to be honest, I think it's the freedom to just kind of talk about whatever, and then have you guys just listen along, whether you are watching this or you just have it playing in the background or whatever the case may be. I think it's great to have a podcast where I can share my experiences and also have maybe people relate to said experiences, or also like like learn about what's going on in my life. So I thought it'd be really interesting to do a podcast, and I think it'd be really fun too, and like I said, talk about a lot of things, because I don't feel like there's one particular topic that necessarily defines me. I feel like there's so many things that I like and so many things that I can talk about. So it really is like, this is a show where I can talk about whatever I want anytime I want. You know what I mean? So I'm rambling on right now, and I'm so sorry, guys. This is my very first podcast, so this is gonna be a little unorganized. But yeah, I think what really was my motivation for this podcast, to be honest, is I have been wanting to try new things. I've been wanting to do new things, and that's kind of also what I'm going to be talking about with this show. I'm going to be talking about doing new things, trying new things, and talking about what I thought of said experiences. Um, and so I think, like, this is one of those things that I wanted to try out. Whether it turns out good or bad, I don't really know, but I'm gonna try it. see what happens. Maybe you guys will like the podcast. Maybe it's a lump of garbage, but but we'll see. We'll see. But you never know until you try. So I'm taking my shot now with the podcasting, seeing how it goes, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I really don't know what else to say. This is really the pilot episode. This is just to kick things off. Um, so guys, if you like it, I really hope that you all will like and subscribe to this channel, which I know I do not say often, like at all. I usually think it's weird to be like, please like and subscribe, but yeah, but like and subscribe if you want to hear more of this podcast. I'm looking forward to possibly recording more episodes for you all. And until next time, you guys have a great day or night.